Hello and welcome back to Real Talk Vancouver, where we talk about real estate insights, try-worthy foods, and trendy news topics. I'm Tina C.
I'm Sherry Chen. And I'm Gina Chong.
So today we're going to be talking about something very interesting that we've all heard about in the news, and us as agents, we have actually been experiencing and living through it. So today we want to talk to you about why the real estate market in Vancouver has seen such a significant increase in price and demand.
Have you guys even checked out the May stats that just came out? So it says there was 187.4% increase in home sales in the month of May compared to last year's May, which is so crazy. I don't know. It's just, right? Well, I guess with the pandemic that hit, everything kind of just shut down for the first couple of months, but still these stats are pretty staggering. But first, I want to say, Vancouver is positioned as a global destination. People want to live here, they want to work here, they also want to study here. So I think we just have to say that's like one of the first reasons why the Vancouver housing market has gone a little bit haywire right now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's also very important to note our interest rates had a significant drop as well, right? Mm-hmm. Remember when people were racing to lock in at 2.89 and it was such a steal?
Before COVID,
and then it dropped and it was at 1.89. Some of the banks were actually offering even lower than that.
Yeah.
Right? So as we all know, lower interest rates means you are paying less interest and more towards your principal. So people were able to afford a lot more with lower interest rates. I think it's also very important to mention the stress test as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Sherry?
So one of the things about a stress test and why we have it is because the bank needs to make sure that you can pay for your mortgage if the market condition changes.
However, even with the stress test, our interest rates are still very low and demand is still very high. So it does affect a little bit, but I can't see it slowing down our market, in an insane amount.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the other thing about COVID is that it's kept everybody at home in town. For example, me, I am not spending money on traveling. I am not spending money on eating out because for a period of time, you weren't able to eat out.
For sure.
Right? So indirectly, I started to save a little bit of money, and I think that's kind of what's happening with a lot of people as well. All of a sudden, there's a lot of people with more disposable income to use.
So we're staying home, saving money, and a lot of us are working from home. I would say that working from home is a factor as well. I was saving money, but then I was upgrading all of my home office equipment. I don't know if any of you guys did this, but I got a standing desk. I think every one of my family members got a standing desk as well. Let me know if you got a standing desk, because I feel like that was like all the hype. But then I never use my standing desk anymore. So
why?
It's just one of those things where you're like, oh, it's cool to have, and then you get it and you use it, and then you're like, I actually prefer sitting down.
The thing about a standing desk is it takes up a lot of square footage.
Yes. Yeah.
So all of a sudden,
is there any more square footage that it's taking up other than a regular desk though?
Well, usually it's a little bit bigger. It's got the motorized legs and stuff like that. And not to mention, you probably want to switch a different type of chair if you have a fancy desk.
Right.
So now you want more square footage for your home.
Mm-hmm. Lots of people are wanting to upgrade their homes because they are working from home. And imagine if you had 5 members, people are going to school on Zoom, people are working from home on Zoom. So yeah, we are seeing a lot of people need more room for offices at home.
Absolutely, for sure. So I think we should talk about the big generational wealth transfer. I read a study, RBC was looking into it, and they were saying, even pre-COVID, that this was a huge case, that a lot of the baby boomers are sitting on a lot of wealth right now, and they are, transferring that wealth to their children. So I think it started even with during COVID, a lot of the baby boomers, they didn't sell their home. They were kind of just sitting on it. And with the housing market, it started to go up. And so now with all the equity, extra equity in their homes, they're realizing, you know what, we have our millennial children, they need to buy a place, and it's kind of the FOMO, right? Like the fear of missing out. So they want their children to start buying and start, you know, in the real estate market. So it's that big transfer that's happening right now. And I think that is a really key point of saying why Vancouver's housing market is really going up.
And did you notice, in my group of friends and family, there's been a lot of young couples who got pregnant over COVID, during COVID. And when they got pregnant, their grandparents were like, oh my gosh, now I'm gonna help my kids and my grandkids by buying them or helping them out with a home purchase so that they can upgrade, get more space, and maybe have a baby room or a second children's room.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, and we're seeing a lot of first-time home buyers come into the market as well. Some are starting families, some are needing more space, getting out of the house. So definitely a lot of first-time home buyers, you know, with interest rates low, they have higher buying power, so they're seeing an opportunity and jumping for it. And what's interesting is, you know, a lot of millennials used to think that you can't buy a home. But now a lot of my clients, a lot of the young couples, they're buying one principal residence and then they're buying condo after condo and building their investment portfolio. So that's something that really excites me when I see that as well.
Very nice.
Why the real estate market is so difficult to get in right now is also because there's limited inventory. During the last 12 months that we've had COVID, there's been a lot of changes with the real estate market where maybe open house was not something that we can do. And also the sellers, the homeowners, maybe they still live in the home while they were selling it, and they just didn't want strangers walking through their home during COVID.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't. If, you know, having kids, I definitely don't want people walking into my home, right?
Exactly.
During that time.
So there were a lot of sellers who wanted to sell, but maybe held off on that idea and didn't want to put their homes on the market during the last 12 months.
Of course.
There's people also who want to sell and want to cash out in this market, but then they're kind of scared on where to go as well, right?
Oh, for sure.
If you sell it now, I mean, I have a client who's trying to sell it for the high of the market, but then afterwards they're like, where am I gonna go? I want to give my children some money, some down payment out of the equity of the house to start their own family, but where does that lead them afterwards, right? You're selling high, but you're also buying high. So, yeah.
So let's talk about the high price of building a home in this market. And also, I'm sure you guys have heard about the lumber pricing increase.
Oh, wow, yes.
Right, in the news. And they say it's in the past 2 years, lumber prices have gone up like triple, which is crazy. So if you were planning on building a home, you know, for a 2,500 square foot home, you're looking at an increase of $30,000. Wow. That's added to your budget that you didn't expect to happen. And a lot of that was due to COVID. You know, right when COVID hit, some of the lumber mills actually shut down. But on the flip side to that, there were people that, you know, wanted to build a home during that time, and they wanted to redo their decks and their stairs, and so they had such a demand for all this lumber, and there was just not enough lumber.
And that's just the materials itself, and with the labor too, because of the travel restrictions, so we couldn't have construction workers come from out of town.
Absolutely.
Or out of country for that matter. They couldn't come in, right?
Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was the immigration and the foreign students, because during COVID, obviously, you know, the first 6 months, everything just shut down, right? Like they've closed the borders. With the immigrants, you know, it was really difficult for immigrants to actually come to Canada during that time. So what's happening now is the government is like, okay, well, you know, we need to start to fast track this and create like an express entry for new immigrants to start coming to Canada again. Because we are starting to kind of open back up again, and we need those immigrants for this country. And then the other side is all those foreign students that, you know, were here studying, and then the schools all shut down. So what did they do? They all went back to their home countries during that time.
Yeah.
But now we know in September, things are opening back up again. The schools are all gonna be opened. And so all of those foreign students are gonna wanna come back to Canada.
Right.
And so just the demand for people to either buy housing or look for rental units or things like that, I think people know that that's going to happen, which is also causing this frenzy early on that they need to, you know,
prepare for
it, right?
Yeah.
Before that big flood of people start coming into this country.
Yeah. The final point that we're going to bring up is the fact that people are afraid of inflation. And there's also a high fear of hyperinflation that's going to happen in the next little while because of the fact that there is higher costs in housing and even food and things like gas prices, things like how much you need to spend on the grocery store. So what inflation does is it makes cash seem less valuable.
Right.
So if you are somebody who's, say for example, been working for the last few years and saved up some money, now you have this cash in the bank, maybe you want to do something with it, put it into a stock market or put it into the real estate market. Okay, so girls, there's a lot of snack food on this table. Should we get started on it?
I'm starting to get hungry. So yes.
Yes. Let's dig in. Oh, this is my favorite. Which one? This one.
Okay, and rice crackers in there maybe? That's what they do all the time. They do like. I watch a lot of late night mukbang shows.
Yeah. Aren't you? How do you eat this? Just take it like that. Okay, I'm gonna start.
Okay.
I like this.
So on my Facebook page, I don't know if you guys saw, I posted something up in April and it was about the Langley Fire. Did you guys hear about that?
Oh my gosh, I saw that video of yours.
Yeah, because my friend's sister lives in Langley and she was out for a walk with her husband. And I guess in the evening time, I think it happened at like 9:30, a fire broke out in this pre-sale complex. It's a building, right? And
But
so
it was under construction?
It was under construction. No, so obviously no one was living there, thank goodness. But there was a whole, next door, there's a whole completed project, right? So there were people that had just maybe moved into these homes.
All I know is that that day I was on the internet and then I think it was through Instagram and Twitter, people were talking about some big fire. And then I saw your video. It was so crazy, so insane. The flames were huge and it was in the middle of the night, right? So luckily nobody lives there. or lived there because it was under construction. So at least, you know, no deaths happened or anything like that. But still, can you imagine the people who bought pre-sale there?
I think there was over 300 units in that building. And so they, you know, they started construction 2019 and it was supposed to be complete for 2022. And I just can't imagine, you know, being that person that purchased into this and your whole life is kind of surrounded by this one big purchase to move into, and now this happens. So do you guys even know what the developer said, what he was planning on doing?
I think he was saying that he's gonna just redo it for the homeowners, right?
Right.
All over again, and
I
it's
know.
another few years wait. That totally sucks. I know a couple people who were affected by it, but that
my
sucks. They were waiting all that time. And now they have to start the clock all over again.
It does suck for the purchasers, the future homeowners that bought there, but also for the developer too, because who's gonna pay for all the construction materials and all the labor work that went into it? You know, it's like a cost that they have to absorb, and hopefully their insurance covered it. But otherwise, this is big news. Like accidents like this, obviously it does happen.
Right.
And when it does happen, insurance is important, and just have a little bit of a backup plan. You know, so hopefully, because the building was not supposed to complete until 2022.
Right.
So hopefully those homeowners that wanted to move there, you know, hasn't sold their place yet, or
I think they would have to do like a case-by-case basis, right? For people that, you know, might want to pull out of it now, right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll find out a little bit more once things kind of progress with that news.
This one's really yummy.
It
It tastes like you're biting into a chicken wing.
It's really good. I do love Ripple chips too.
I like this one a lot.
Butter chips. These are my absolutely favorite. When I went to Seoul a couple years ago, it was the first time that I tried this flavor, this butter flavor. And they actually have this
honey butter chip.
Honey butter flavor also in almonds as well. And so that was like the biggest thing. I brought so much of it back home, only to realize that they sell it at TNT. So yeah, give this one a try. It's my favorite.
See how the two chips look so different? You can really taste the butter.
You can.
I really thought I was gonna love it. I just don't.
You don't like it? Oh wow, I'm so shocked.
Not yucking anyone's yum, but it's just, I don't know. It's just.
Do you guys want to try one of these? It's,
Is that sweet or salted?
It's sweet. So it's like a sweet rice.
Who wants to?
puff?
Do you want to take half?
Yeah, you go.
Who got a bigger half?
Cheers.
Oh, you did. Okay, this one needs a little bit of tea.
Bubble tea flavored.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Koreans make a lot of good snack food.
They do.
Which okay. So crunchy. The almond is crunchy. You like it? No.
No? Oh, you're picky with your snacks.
I don't know.
Who wants to split a Kit Kat with me?
I kind of
Nobody?
try
You guys
this.
all want your own?
I was like, I want my own.
Fine. I'll have it all by myself.
All right, I'm gonna go with this one. This is the
Yeah, can I get that one too?
Thank
you.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Strawberry cheesecake. Oh my goodness.
These are hit and miss. I feel like.
So good. Look how cute it is. It's so tiny. What's the Kit Kat song? Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off
a
of
piece of that.
Kit Kat bar.
Okay. So these were my childhood super annoying candies. I grew up on these, and they're
Call them the whistle candy.
the whistle candy because you put them in your mouth and then you just annoy your mother with it.
Oh my!
Well, I think out of all of this, my favorite is actually this one.
Really?
I love this snack. It's like, oh, so good.
It's what flavor is this? This is just seafood.
Fish.
It's not. It's squid. Squid flavor.
No, it's
Isn't it just original? Maybe squid flavor. But these are,
I think it is
like,
squid.
what is this?
Is that a dry squid paste? I have no idea.
I love this.
This is good for drinking.
Have you had these? Really? Oh,
It's kind of like instant noodles, but just already seasoned, flavored, and cut into tiny little pieces.
did you guys do that when you were younger? Like take those like Ichiban instant noodles and
Smush it.
mush it, put the seasoning on top, and just eat it like that? It's kind of the same concept, right?
I guess that's
probably not
where
as
this
bad
came
for
from.
you.
Yeah, you think so?
Probably really bad for you.
Probably.
Well, if you think about it, I was looking at it the other day. One instant noodle package is 480, whether you eat it dry or not.
Really?
More than that. Like the Korean ones are like 550 calories.
Really?
Yes. So what I do now is like I break it in half, I put it in a big bowl of hot water, and then I just put tons of vegetables in there. So like I feel like you still get the instant noodles, but you know,
Slightly healthier?
A little bit healthier. I guess. Yeah.
Tom yum flavor.
Ooh.
This one here.
Very gingery, right?
And like prawny. Is that a word? Prawny.
Prawny. A lot of prawns.
So what was everyone's top 3 for our viewers at home?
Well, I definitely, butter chips is one of my favorites. I like the snack, and again, I don't know what it's called. And then, yeah, I'm not so much of a sweets person, but I would say these ones because I eat those all the time at home.
I'm gonna go with this chicken. If you haven't tried chicken chips before, definitely highly recommend. I like these. These are like my all-time favorite. I always eat them even now. And then I'm gonna go with this one as well because I could eat the whole bag when drinking. Or not drinking. Or just a casual day. What about you?
I feel like my choices are really similar to yours. So definitely these chips are super good, the chicken flavored. I eat this a lot as well. I grew up eating this too, and as a kid, obviously you don't drink alcohol with it, but now as an adult, you enjoy it with alcohol. And then to choose something sweet, I think definitely this one because when you bite into it, it smells so good, tastes like grapes, and then you have the chocolate coating. It's delicious.
So there you have it, some try-worthy foods for you guys to check out at TNT the next time you're there. Thanks for joining us on Real Talk Vancouver today. We hope you enjoyed our episode. If you like or learned something today, please make sure you like and subscribe, share this video with your friends, and we'll see you next time. This is good. Maybe I'm just hungry.
I'm starving.